draft now, so let's have a look what actually goes down for the side of what they changed now. So Big actually opting to go on blue side this time. So this is actually the first time we've seen G2 on red side, so I'm actually very curious what they decide to do here. So the Kasente ban, Ari ban, that's very, very grief. That's so grief. Banning Ari as first ban when you have B1, either they have something Giga Brain to slam B1 or they're just kind of griefing. Especially where right now the meta is very heavily around playing for jungle and AD. It's like AD is king, support plays for AD, jungle plays to help support get AD ahead, mid plays to help get jungle ahead. Like that's kind of like the easiest meta to pull off right now. That doesn't mean that's the only meta you have to run, of course, but it's definitely the easiest one at the minute, I feel. Gragas ban is really good because B1 Gragas is oppressive. Obviously, 4-way flex for that champion. It is disgusting. As people would know, I rant on Twitter quite often about the state of Gragas. Again, they do not ban the Milio over, so this is going to be the first time in the tournament that we do see the Milio. Not too great, in my opinion. I really don't hope they go Lucian here. Very, very bad. To be honest here, they probably just need to go something like maybe take away Cog Lulu or like Jinx Lulu. Just do not go something heavily. Okay, so, I mean, they go the Lucian Nami. I don't really like it too much. I mean, it's good for kind of trying to punish the Milio early, but you end up in this kind of weird position where a lot of ADCs can play quite well into it. If Big actually take Jinx here, then it's actually quite hard for G2 to play into that, and with the Wukong as well, they're going to look to try and heavily force the 3v3 in bot lane, I feel. A little bit risky. Like, I think Lucian Nami is very, very good, don't get me wrong, but one of the advantages to Lucian previously was that he had such a large amount of magic damage through Nami that it made him very mixed. Okay, we actually have the Renekton, which means the Big are actually going to opt to play into top side. Now, Renekton can be played weak side as well, but you really don't want to. And with the Malphite just instantly coming in, this is looking really, really bad now for the side of Big. Blinding the Renekton there, like, you can do it if you want to play heavily towards top side, but when you've got something like Milio and you can heavily kind of snowball bot lane, it's much more favorable to take it there. The kind of big thing for Big now as well is because they've given them a Malphite angle, you end up in a position now where no matter what ADC Big decide to choose, I mean, they can't go something like Samira with Emilio, and like even if you go something like Ezreal to dodge the Malphite, then it's really, really bad value with Emilio. So now you're in a really awkward position on the side of Big in the fact that Malphite has huge value even before you showed your bot lane. So, Lissandra blind. Okay, I guess they banned away the Seraphine. But Lissandra blind, I mean, I don't like the draft from G2 here, to be honest, because you end up now in a position where you get to counter mid, and like, what are you going to counter? Like, jungle? Unless they've got some, like, insanely good jungle, like, tech here on R5, then this is not good, in my opinion. Okay, I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, I think Kindred is amazing. I genuinely think Kindred is unreal. The issue that you have, though, with Kindred is by allowing, like, in your draft, by allowing mid to get counter and get a pick where you can get prio in mid lane against a Kindred, you make it so difficult to get marks that now they have to look to flip some early level 1 in order to secure Kindred a vertical jungle, which if they can vertical jungle around bot side, I think they probably look to get a late invade on red here and just try and force Big away from red buff because you've got Zeri and Milio. So if they manage to force them away from red buff here, then it could be really good. But the issue that you're going to have is what you look to do there is you take the Kindred on R4 and then you wait on mid till R5 and take something that can wave clear, guaranteed. So I think, let me have a look at the draft again. So, I mean, they've got Lushanami Kindred, which means they do win the 3v3, like, really, really hard. So they can prioritize early dragons quite nicely, which is kind of what you want to be doing in general. So the early dragon priority is huge. The issue is Cassio is going to get massive amounts of pressure into the Lysandra early, and Kindred's going to really struggle to get some marks unless she uses Lucian Nami to rotate inside the jungle. So I think if you're the side of Big right now, you want to get a ward down by red buff, start blue buff for Wukong. Actually, no, because then you're pathing into Emilio. It's so rough. Like, if G2 late invade here, Big is done. Like, Big is completely done. Big becomes very small if they get a good, successful late invade here. Yep, whoops. I hope my mic wasn't muted for a long time. Fingers crossed, but... Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Thank God. Okay, let's see. Right, so... Let's, enjoy dinner. Okay, unfortunate they don't decide to go into the late invade. Ah, this game could have been completely over. Okay. Oh wait, no. Haha. Never mind. I was right. Way. Yeah, this is completely over. Like, there's no way. Like, they can play the game. Well. Yeah, this is done. What a fun game. Like the overall understanding of the game that G2 have is so much higher than Big, I feel. And I mean, that isn't even me being nasty or anything. Like, this late invade was so obvious that it was going to come through. Like, I just don't know. Like, so unbelievably obvious. Super hard winning 3v3 bot side. And again, like, they, like, the only place Big can play is top side. If anything, Big should have gone for a late invade as well and just split the map top. Because there's no way Wukong's getting anything from this Renekton inside of... sorry, there's no way Wukong's getting anything bot lane. So we have we have Ghost come from Zeri, we have Heal come from Melio, and yeah, Zeri is very, very dead. Yep. Okay. Yeah, now you've got Kindred with a lead. You've got this entire bot side completely locked down. And the good thing is Kindred can consistently get marks. I'll explain more in the VOD, but the reason why this is so good is because the marks will always spawn inside the enemy jungle. So Kindred is allowed to consistently get her marks on repeat. Like, I don't know, I guess Big don't understand what Kindred wants from the game, but the fact that they blinded the Renekton for the Malphite counter top. Okay, so again, you can get these aggressive trades in bot lane now. I mean, Kindred is looking to try and force this Wukong outside of his jungle at the minute. Just so that the marks will spawn. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's just doomed. I thought originally that they weren't going to go with a late invade. I thought that's why Kindred would stop. But again, they just get dragon after dragon now. This is some really, really good gameplay from the side of G2, honestly. Okay. Oh, okay. This is the weird, some weird visual bug. But yeah, as like the issue that you have now when you're playing against G2 in this position is Kindred can consistently get her marks. Lucian Nami completely just demolishes bot lane, and there's not really much you can do into it anymore. Like, Kindred scales fairly well. Like, obviously the Zeri does scale super, super hard, but it just won't really matter when, in the grand scheme of things, they're not going to get to the point where they can scale. Like, even though it's, I mean, it's a nearly 2k gold difference already, and it's not even 7 minutes into the game. So, super, super good. Ugh, I love being right. What can I say? But, I don't know. So, look at the CS gap. Like, this CS gap is so huge. Look at this, 64, 34 CS gap in 7 minutes. Like, Big just, it's so unbelievably difficult for them to come back at this point of the game. Like, if they can get, like, a really big Wukong ult off, but the issue is the Cassiopeia hasn't got a chance to do anything on Lissandra either. Obviously, Lissandra has played lane very, very safe, but with so much pressure coming out of this jungle bot lane, it's just incredibly, incredibly strong. You can tell that G2 have really, really nailed their draft prep here, because the fact that they instantly had this as a response. Again, I weren't a massive fan of going the Lissandra on R4, but when they're just going to look to late invade, it doesn't really matter. You kind of completely shut it down. Now, on the flip side, if Big would have prepared for the late invade and they could have potentially stacked for it and got something off it instead. Actually, I don't even think they could have stacked for it. I just really don't think that their comp can do anything at level 1. Maybe if the like Wukong would have like responded by late invading top, and it would have just been a split map, and maybe got the Renekton ahead enough, it could have been something, but it's not really too much they can do there. And now you have this hyper mobility with double ADC combo. So again, forcing Zeri away from the tower yet again. Like, this entire wave is gone. The play around bot, I have to give it to Sheena. Her play around getting Kaltis so unbelievably accelerated is insane. Like, there were some kind of issues with the games that we had yesterday, for example, where like, she was trying to overforce in bot lane, but in general, today, completely different showing. Like, didn't play bad yesterday at all, but even, like, the control that she's getting around the map at this point, really, really big. When we get both of these item spikes coming through for Kindred and the Nami, like, we're going to see Lucian do so much damage, it's actually going to be kind of crazy. But even Tifa opting to walk inside of the jungle and just force them out, absolutely amazing. So again, G2 showing that objectives is their main priority. It's so unbelievably important right now. Objectives are so kind of strong that you want to be looking. And even just this kind of holding Herald in this position is really good, because you don't really give vision until it's gone on the shrine. So it's really, really good. Again, another dragon going over to the side of G2. Tifa instantly rotating to it. Like, honestly, the mid gap of Tifa this game to just give everything to Sheena has been so good. Okay, and this is the thing. Like, this is why you can't just, like, blind Renekton. Because you just end up in, like, this situation where Renekton just... He just can't do anything into the Malphite. Like, Malphite just shuts the champion down so hard that even in these situations, all Lysia needs to do is just not die. If she just gets through lane without dying and just plays to ult the Zeri, there's nothing Zeri can do. Like, she can maybe hop a wall, but like, if a Malphite isn't holding ultimate for when Zeri wants to use E, then it's just being played really, really bad. So, in general, like, this game... Like, Big aren't going to get to the point where they can scale. I mean... It's, like, 40 CS lead at 13 minutes into the game on a player like Kaltis. Like, as soon as Lucian finishes Gale Force, and this is the thing that people don't realize a lot of the time, like, Lucian's got his Stormrazor at this point, but you don't have to overforce at this point. You're already accelerated so far ahead on gold that all you need to do is wait until you get your Gale Force, and then you can just look to start taking every fight. What a lot of people do is they'll get an early lead of a kill or two in lane, and then they'll just fight over and over and over before they have enough gold lead in order to just hard stomp the game. So, again, we're going to look to push this tier 2 as well. They're probably going to get it. This is going to be another 550 gold over to the Lucian if they do manage to. Again, just completely popping off. I would have liked to see the Nami back away here and give Lucian a bit more of that share of 550 gold, but not too bad overall. Like, 275 would have been really nice for both Lucian and Kindred, but overall, it's completely fine. Like, Nami also wants to get to a mythic item, so... This game is pretty much over. I think after game 1, I think... So this has been a very common thing with these teams, actually. It's felt like game 1 has always been very, very close. And then mentals have just really boomed into game 2. Now, I can't confirm if it 100% is mentals, whatever. But that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Like, because it just seems like the game 2s of every single team that has played this, the game 2 has just been absolute nothing. Oops, unlucky, didn't get the cannon, but again, doesn't really matter too much. Lissandra is just an enabler this game. Just wants to lock one person down so Lucian and Kindred can just absolutely just maul them. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking for. Lucian is very close to Gale Force at this point, so that's going to be pretty big. Opt to go into the Lucidity boots first, I presume. That was because she didn't have enough for BF Sword, so decided to just go into the Haste as well. Haste is incredibly valuable on Lucian because you can get more ability rotations, which means more procs of your passive. But yeah. Again, very clean drafting, very clean execution from G2. Again, Kindred gets access to all the marks she wants. I'm keeping eyes on the Kindred marks when it shows them, just to kind of see... Just to kind of see those marks. But yeah, because as Kindred, your main goal is to get to the first 4 marks. As soon as you get 4 marks, you get a massive increase in range, which basically turns you into an actual ADC. Because the thing is, like, so obviously Kindred has a gap closer, same as Lucian, but they both only have 500 range. Although when Kindred gets full max, she gets an extra 75 bonus range. So she ends up going up to 575, which outranges the majority of AD carries. So that's kind of why she's so good with those marks. So this is why you have to be careful of things like those late invades. And when you're going things like Zeri and Melio, it's really, really rough to kind of not play towards that. They do have Hexol as well. The stars are aligning for G2 in this game. The Hexol will be very easy for them to claim. Kaltis is just absolutely melting the Milio down. There's TPs coming in, and a flash forward from the Zeri, really not good considering Kindred ult is available, and Trez drops as well. Kaltis literally does not die still. And, I mean, Vixen is the last line of defense here, but with this much lead and getting kills like that, there's not really much they can do. Like, they're already at a, 6k gold lead at the moment, so very hard for them to really do much at all. Zeri flashing forward to try and get something there, really, really bad. I mean, at this point, Zeri is way too far behind to successfully get to her item spikes. I don't even think she's going to get to her runins this game. That's a huge amount of gold away at the moment. And it's just very, very difficult for them to play the game whatsoever. All due to, I mean, I want to say lack of preparation. I mean, they banned away the Seraphine in mid when jungle still wasn't matching. I'm pretty sure Sheena is an avid Kindred player as well. So, I mean, when you're saving jungle that late, there's usually not many reasons behind why you would be doing that, besides setting up a match for something like a Kindred. Okay, Zeri rage quit. Nah, I'm just kidding. So, I mean, pause. I don't know why pause. I think maybe... I think ADC DC'd. Okay, so we're just waiting. I mean, to be honest, this game is pretty much done. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit kind of rough in general, I guess. We're going to wait to see, wait for them to come back. But again, I mean, there's not really much you can do in this game state anymore. Like, the Kindred is absolutely taking over, and also you have Lucian too. So there's not really much you can really do in this situation. I think G2's draft is just so big, and we'll go over it in the VOD after, obviously, but the fact that they just didn't even expect the late invade was just so bad. Like, there's some situations where if you get late invaded, you just cannot win the game, and this was one of those situations. So the fact that they just didn't call it whatsoever, and nobody called it, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have a coach as well. Let's have a look. So this is big, right? So so yeah, big clan. Yeah, so they are using a coach as well. So I don't know why it wasn't called, but we'll see. I don't know what they're doing at the moment. I think ADC DC'd, so we're just waiting for them to come back. But overall, pretty one-sided game. I hope they don't take too long to come back. That'd be very sad. It kind of ruins the immersion. Like, and when you're in a position like G2 is, and you're just kind of snowballing so hard, when somebody kind of stops a game like this, it just makes it so kind of awkward to bring it back. Oh, sorry, to gain that tempo back. So the game has restarted now. Obviously, as you can see, still 0 kills over to the side of Big. And Kaltis has now finished Rapid Fire. So didn't actually go into the Gale Force. It's just opted into the Rapid Fire. So I presume that's just so she can get the initial proc. Obviously, Nami does give you a massive amount of damage and that really big hefty slow, which is one of the reasons why Rapid Fire second has always been kind of popular on Lucian. I mean, I don't think it really matters too much considering I think she just straight up bought that Rapid Fire off one reset. But Gale Force is going to come in soon. This is a weird bug. The gold has just shot up to 33.7k for Big, and now it's back up down to 28.3k. I don't know why it keeps bugging out like that, but I mean, I'm not sure if it's on the API or production or... I don't know. It's probably the API. So, we've got the mandate coming through for... Well, mandate's been through for a while on the Nami at this point as well. Malphite finished Sunfire. Probably going into maybe some... I mean, you don't really want to go something like Radiant Virtue on Malphite, because the issue with that is when you ult in, you end up so far away from the people that you want to be healing that unless they're jumping in with you, it's not as high value. Now, as something like Lucian, you can also jump in as well, but again, just resetting for a longsword and a control ward. Again, we do have 3 control wards showing for the side of G2 right now, none for the side... Well, I mean... So actually, I will give it to them. Big at the moment with this defensive vision line with these control wards is actually really, really good use of vision. Like, making sure you've got all of those control wards down so that you have this big defensive line where they can't really walk into your jungle without getting pressured is really big, but the issue is now they're just going to clear them away. When you're behind, it's more important to use gold to actually secure vision, due to the fact that you want to make sure you know where they are at all times. Whereas when you're ahead, it doesn't matter as much, because you end up in a position where if, say, they do catch you off guard, you're just so far ahead that you kill them. Pretty sure that if they walk into G2 at all in this game, then G2 are probably just going to melt the entire team anyway, so the vision isn't as important for them. Vision is usually a tool when you're behind, or if you want to get picked. So if you want to just like to pick somebody off, then denying vision is really important for that. But actually placing vision doesn't come down as much. So unfortunately, the Renekton is at a point of this game where, like, he's not really going to be able to do much at all due to the fact that he got shut down so hard in lane. Didn't actually die, but obviously there's not a massive amount of kill threat in that lane unless you really, really force it. But, I mean, Wukong should have looked to force it top. It's the only real lane that he can play through in this game, and the fact that he didn't is kind of rough in general. But we do see a TP coming in from Crow. Manages to avoid the Nami bubble, thankfully. I mean, maybe Nami could have looked to just ult there and go, but, I mean, they're really trying to kill this Malphite away, but there's not really much you can do. The Hex Soul is available at the moment, but are they going to play it similar to what they did last game, where they just kind of give one drag over and prioritize Baron? I highly doubt it, because they're so far ahead and they have a Lucian here, so they do want to look to end the game out as much as possible, but as you can see here, the Nami with Lucian combo giving that extra range from rapid fire just allows that huge pick, a really big ult coming from the Nami right now. Wukong's in the back disrupting, but so far behind in gold that it just doesn't matter. Nami manages to flash away, but they just won't manage to kill. And down comes a Kindred ultimate, they all die. I mean, this was over as soon as this late invade came through, but here you see... Could have been a pentakill for Caltis, but it's fine. They're going to split the map now. They're going to split focus now. Lydia and Tifa are just going to both deal with the dragon, and Caltis, Kaloma, and Sheena are just going to go straight for Baron. So again, they're just looking to end the game out as much as possible. It's going to potentially be a flawless game as well. They haven't managed to get a single kill for the side of Big in this game, and like I said, I feel like what has kind of happened another, I guess, internet issues. Bring back Karina. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Sheena has played so good. I mean, if you, I'm going to VOD it. But I mean, I should have been VODing it now because it's kind of over. But, like, look at this, like the draft that they have. So they went, there was, oh, fair enough. I mean, Karina is very good, don't get me wrong, but I mean, Sheena's played it so good, like genuinely so good. There was B1 Milio, Wukong, Renekton, B2-3, sorry, so B1 Milio, actually, I'll just show you. So, how doomed is this draft? Like, there's just no way that they can win. So, the thing is, so this draft is doomed, right? Like, they instantly punish the Milio B1. I mean, they get Lucian Nami, which, again, is fine. But then they blind the Renekton, which gives options for the Malphite to just go straight away here. Malphite ends up completely countering any ADC that they want to go here, because it just counters any Milio pairing. And then they take Liss here, which they save Kindred. And even with this draft, like this entire time, Big did not take into consideration that there would be a late invade. So what happened is there was just a late invade from... Like, there was a late invade from the side of G2, and then game was over. Like, there's nothing you can do. When Wukong gets first, I think the only lane that Wukong can play through here is the Renekton top, right? Like, you can't really play through Zeri Milio. Can't really play through Cassio into Liss. Like, the only option you have is to go top and play through Renekton, but he just didn't. And it was kind of weird because they didn't predict a late invade. But, yeah, I guess so. I mean, but I guess the Malf is the only kind of option. It's... I feel like G2's drafts have honestly been absolutely insane. Like, they've genuinely been so good. I wonder who's coaching G2 in this tournament. Knock one. I don't know who that is, but again, drafts have been very good. Oh, really? Against G2 Hell? I mean, yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be really fun to draft against them. Yeah, I mean, it would be good. Like, they're very good. Like, they've actually been showing up in this tournament so well, it's crazy. And obviously, when you've got Caltis just running everybody down, it's definitely fun to watch. Unfortunately, AD keeps DCing here. So they can't just end the game out, but... Like, they've just got Hex Soul, they're just taking Baron. The game is pretty much over. And I guess the delays mean it isn't as big of a wait until grand finals, because finals aren't for another hour. Okay, so the game's restarted. What? Caltis died to Baron? What? Oh, unlucky. I did see a message. I haven't replied to it yet. I haven't had a chance. I had to jump straight into stream. But, how did Caltis die? I mean, it still could be a flawless game, don't get me wrong, but, like, how did that happen? So, again, Lucian, again, finished his Gale Force now at this point. So, really, really difficult to deal with. Zeri, again, still hasn't got to Runans. I highly doubt she will get to Runans this game, to be honest. She's way too far behind. But yeah, this is such an astronomical draft diff. Like, genuinely. Draft diff and early game plan diff was insane here. I actually can't wait to VOD it. Again, there's just not really that much you can do. Even the Zeri can't really function too well into math. Oh no, is she... She didn't get the kill. Oh, thank God. The perfect game was nearly ruined. Sheena nearly died, but luckily Nami coming in clutch. Again, though, just opting to go into the mandate. Echoes of Hellier, obviously not going into, and I think it's mainly because it's really short range, so it's not really that good to go with. But again, nearly 12,000 goal difference by 24 minutes. How huge is that? I mean, they're just going to start looking to run it down now. Probably going to get this in here. Bliss is pushing, and like, what is Wukong doing? There's no way. Why is Wukong farming... What? Why is Wukong farming Red Side Grump? Like, literally, they're pushing with Baron and, like, not pushing a wave, not doing anything, just farming Red Side Grump. I feel like they're just completely mental boomed at this point. Oh, okay. Calcis just having a bit of fun with it, to be honest, at this point. They're going to get the second inhib now, and then... I mean, they can just look to end with 2 inhibs. Yeah, I definitely just think they don't want to play at this point into the game. I mean, they don't have thing in bot lane. Okay, so there we go. So, Wukong locked up now. Nambi Bubble did miss, but it doesn't really matter. Malphite ult Lucian just kills them all. Okay. And that is game. So, G2 go through to the finals, the grand finals. No! No! The entire game, nearly flawless. A single kill at the end. Report mid. Nah, joking, I'm joking. This was so good though. Like the execution of this game massively. Let's VOD review this now. This was so good. So good.